Hi, welcome back to MC Ventures. In this episode, we ventured up Mist Mountain in Kananaskis to find hot springs. If you're considering this hike, you won't be disappointed by the views. I was a huge fan of this hike. All the way around, it was an enjoyable journey. The trail is straightforward. You start off hustling through a quiet forest with some steady initial elevation gain. The trail is narrow, so when hiking in pairs or groups, you'll have to hike in a straight line through the forest portion of it. But after you make it through the forest, it opens up into this beautiful valley between Mist Mountain and Eagle Ridge. After the valley, things begin to get pretty steep as you climb the gap between the two mountains. This portion of the hike is breathtaking. It reminds me of something you'd find in Hawaii because of the dense and lush greenery that surrounds you. When you reach the top of this first portion of the hike, you'll be able to see the hot springs off in the distance. After reaching the top of the first portion, you'll begin a decline down a decent portion of rocks. You'll want to take this part pretty slow and steady as some of the rocks are pretty loose here. The decline down to the hot springs took us approximately 30 minutes or so to complete. Once you arrive at the hot springs, you might be faced with a small wait to get into the springs. When we arrived, both hot springs were full, but the people there were pretty considerate of the line and we were able to get into a hot spring within 15 or 20 minutes. We hung out in the springs with some drinks for about 20 minutes or so. The water was the perfect temperature for the weather that day. After having drinks and relaxing in the springs, we had a quick snack and hustled back up the loose rocks as some gray rain clouds started to roll in. We also ran into a guy dressed in a night suit on our way back from the hike. We weren't sure what that was about. Leave a comment below if you know what hiking in a night suit means or represents. For me, the lush greenery was the best part of the hike, but Chris would beg to differ and say the hot springs were more enjoyable. Overall, though, I give this hike 5 stars. It's truly a beautiful hike and you won't be disappointed by the views or the hot springs. Thanks for watching this episode of MC Ventures. We'll see you on the next adventure.